How to survive in service to your queen. Be born into a large family of lapsed Irish Catholic farmers who cultivate guilt and fertilize shame. The genetic tendency toward mental illness creeps in from each side and twists around the knots in your family tree. Grow to be a disappointment despite your many successes, but don't get ahead of yourself. Realize you take up too much space at 6. Stand in the school hallway in a cheap pink leotard, scratching at the ratty silver Christmas garland stitched hastily to the arm and neck and leg holes. The ballet instructor explains why you have to go to the back row. Her voice is low and fast, and she turns her back to you to admit that you're just too big and awkward and will hide the other girls. It wouldn't be fair, she says. Their parents deserve to see their daughters, too. Your mom wipes away your tears with the edge of her flowered scarf and shoves a sticky handful of homemade caramel corn into your palm. Quit ballet. The next year, hide crushed sandwiches in the back of your desk until they bloom brilliant green and blue mold. Craft smooth peanut butter on cheap white store-brand bread mostly, sometimes bologna smeared with bright yellow mustard. Eventually, the teacher will interrupt the class to investigate the source of the smell, and you will be mortified, but you just hope she doesn't figure out you've stolen Little House on the Prairie from the grade 3 library next door. Snap your collarbone in a bicycle accident. Hurtle down a rutted path on a 10-speed with a broken rear brake. Your brothers run into you, over you. After the emergency room, sitting topless and freezing and embarrassed, your mom will buy you a loony milkshake from the local dairy. It helps mend broken bones. Watch her navigate weight loss. Stare from the front stoop as she power walks and chain smokes into a size 6. Eat cowboy stew as she pushes limp white lettuce into her face and snaps at your little brother to just eat the damn peas. Try figure skating. At 13, compete once, win. Your brother throws a red plastic rose onto the ice when you finish. Years later, you'll realize they're the only flowers a man has ever given you. During practice one day, skate backwards, powerful, strong, confident, but mostly in the wrong direction. Run over the club's brightest star, pick yourself up, brush snow from your quivering thighs, and pass her being carried from the ice, tears soaking the rhinestone-studded mesh of her dress. The accusatory stares sit heavy on your broad shoulders. Quit figure skating. Spend lunchtimes alone at your Catholic school, writing /fan fiction while eating Joe Louis and wiping crumbs from your green wool pants. Too smart for the athletes, but too good at school, too good at sports for the nerds, fit in nowhere. Captain the girls' rugby team, but practice with the boys. Your aggression must be saved for the public school competition. Your first kiss is a lesson in the economics of poverty on the crumbling front porch of a house in Consuelo on a mission trip. He chips your front tooth. You're so surprised at the closeness of his round, dark face. And then you're distracted by your drunken math teacher walking into a barbed wire clothesline next door. Don't touch boys for a long time. From 14 on, carry a picture of a female soldier in your journal. She is intense and an inspiration. During a guidance counseling session, share with the nun. Be told that good Catholic school girls don't join the army. Quit being a good Catholic school girl. Go to university in Montreal, indebted to Ontario. You have to go. You're the only girl. You're the smart one. The weight of family expectations is a stone you've choked down. Spend years trying to find yourself. March in solidarity with feminists and Palestinians. Make friends with a thick German girl who clandestinely smokes clove cigarettes in her open dorm window. Choke down boxes of dry corn pops cramming for physics exams. Learn you don't have the discipline to be an anorexic. For a while, keep a man around who will remind you of that weekly. Grad school next. Your eating disorder is well hidden and in full swing. Work 3 part-time jobs, train 27 hours a week, stop extracurriculars, study and spin and study. Isolate yourself, relinquish hobbies, study harder, better. You have a lot to prove. You're a scientist now, conducting a test of n=1. Eat until the verge of puking, but realize puking is hard. Also, gross. Learn you lack the discipline to practice until there is ease. Discover laxatives. Shitting yourself is easy, also gross. Graduate and not remember anyone's names. Waste a few years. Nothing happens here that's worth talking about. Finally, decide that 27 years is enough time wasted. Join the military. It's a fascist place to your socialist feminist soul. After all, what sort of bullshit organization would regulate your wearing of undies? Learn that it doesn't really take much to be a soldier. A few days for weapons and drill, and the rest is just following orders. The first thing the short man says is that half of you in this room won't make it. Don't believe him, though it will prove to be true. The first free weekend during basic training, they give a safe sex lecture. Don't get drunk with boys, but if you do, make sure you have your own condoms. If you get in trouble, tell the cops you're military, and they'll help you out. Stare silently over the top of their berets. Across the hall, the boys are told, have fun, go out. Get with a girl and take her picture for your inspection frames. Over deviled eggs or atop the third floor washing machines, the boys sit and loudly evaluate your merits as both a soldier and a lay. One in particular will get drunk a lot, try to pull you into bed, climb into the tub where you soak your aching, bloody feet. It's flattering at first. It becomes less flattering the more often it happens, and then it's not flattering at all. On a frigid November morning, while wandering around on sentry duty, fingers frozen on the trigger guard of your rifle, a friend will admit, I hate you. I thought you'd be my itch scratcher. His wife and babies wait for him, back home in Nova Scotia or maybe Saskatoon, have a pang of guilt that there is zero desire to fuck him, but appreciate his appreciation. Turn out to be very, very good at the Army shit. It's not quite the same as training. In the real Army, a woman with 5 kids will sit you down to discuss your childbearing plan. She will tell you, have them early so you can still have a career. You don't know her first name. She doesn't know your life plan. The safety officer on the pistol firing range tells you that your aim is poor, but your grouping is true. After all, your body is an awkwardly wielding weapon. You only hurt yourself, so you dig into learning, focus, figure out how to be the best, but learn just as quickly that not everyone wants that. Learn that part the hard way. Go to your brother's wedding. A combat engineer, he has returned from Afghanistan with an alcohol problem and a wandering eye. Your sister-in-law says, there's nobody here worthy of shaving above the knee. Your cheap polyester dress rides up your thighs, catching in the short leg hairs as the juniper breath from the man above you wafts over your face. Fingers sink into your neck, fireworks burst behind your eyes, sweat splashes into your face. He shudders like a bewildered bear. Why didn't your sister-in-law warn you to avoid your brother's friends? It is inevitable, for were they not trained only to know violence? How can you defend even joining? You will never know how to explain this to anyone. You made a commitment and are honoring it. You believe in something bigger than yourself. It is both that simple and that complex, but how can you explain to someone who has never contemplated personal sacrifice? So now, when they ask, you stumble over your words and mumble about educational reimbursements and dental care and the defined benefit pension plan. You'll see 0 wars in 15 years and feel nostalgic for things you've not yet experienced. Meet a man while on duty. He is insubordinate, you are intrigued. Inch into a relationship and learn neither of you know how to be in love. Hide it from the unit. You're too junior and unproven and can't afford any missteps. He hides baggage he won't let you help carry. Jerk awake on your mattress to flailing hands and swallowed cries and night terrors of treacherous patrols through the Panjway. Tender, dark flesh will encircle your eye. He will be sorry. Your troops say, I'd hate to see how the other guy looks. They think you're training for a fight. Maybe you are. At Christmas, he visits your family home, jokes over beer with your dad, reminisces about Afghanistan with your brothers, then stands on your back stoop and says, I don't think we should be together anymore, when you kiss him and knock the soft snowflakes from his toque. Ignore him. Months later, when the posting message arrives, say, come with me. You should say, I don't want to leave. He stands in your cold kitchen on a Saturday night and says, you give too much of yourself. What do you want from me? Want him only to say he's sad that you are leaving. Once, he told you he'd take a bullet for you. Now, he will take his go bag from off your mattress and walk out your front door, and you will say nothing more. In the living room, your housemate will turn up the volume on the Tudors. Despite this, manage to remain friends. You never wanted to hurt him. 8 years after he shatters your heart, he will say, you're critical in particular. I felt privileged to be with you, and at the same time felt I could not meet your expectations. Yet you have always been a part of me. You helped me define the man that I am now. Smile, wide, genuine. Hiding in the Chiefs and PO's storage closet, surrounded by busted Christmas decorations, you finally understand that you've made a real difference in his life. And I'm sorry I never loved you loudly, but I still love you hovers on the tip of your tongue until he shares, and I am a catastrophic failure. When he marries a Ukrainian field medic he met while deployed and takes over 2 years to tell you this fact, you will learn a valuable lesson about how traumatized people need to be the hero of someone else's story. Move, alone. Hate the city, hate the politics, hate how your career twisted on the whim of people you couldn't control. It's a new place. a new boss, a charismatic, soulless ginger farm boy from Saskatchewan. Standing in the smoke pit, he says, "Don't fuck anyone in your platoon. Don't fuck the subbies. Don't fuck any of the OCs. Do not fuck the CO. You have more to prove here than any of the guys." 3 months later, his hands fumble with your green canvas belt. His mouth presses against your ear. His deep voice, stained with cigarette smoke and expensive whiskey, asks you to just take him home. 2 months after that, one of his best friends will quiver in rage that he'd punch you in the throat if you were his. When his stubby fingers latch onto your arm to drag you under the water of the portable hot tub and he orders you to buy him drinks, you push him back, tell him off, walk away. You wonder why everyone else on the mess patio is laughing and only you are angry. Later still, when you're mugged out, when your time there is done and your boss jokes about your age and your Catholic school education and your body size, the deputy commanding officer will position himself between you and that man for his protection. And finally, before you leave, your boss will say, "You're a nice girl, you deserve a nice boy, I'll miss you when you go." And he salutes you with a coffee mug of sharp, dark rum. You did your job with personality and edge. Next job. Almost fall in love with a married man who killed men. Do it slowly, over the course of many long months. Do it easily, flirting madly, all double entendres and clever wit and hints of insubordination. Do it tenderly, sitting in a sliver of sun as he shares his memories. I wrote every letter that I sent by hand. They tell you that handwritten letters are much better received by the parents or wives. Once or twice, I had to pull out the company photo just to reference their face. It was like their death had wiped my memory. And I just couldn't remember who they were or how they looked. Sometimes my hands would shake. His hand spins, not idle, but mimicking a raging desert windstorm, the hand with the bracelet bearing the names of his dead. And the ink would stain my fingers, telling someone that you've killed their son. That's not something they teach you how to do when you join the army. He thumbs dirt from his eye and jams hands in the front pockets of his combat shirt. He doesn't fasten the buttons. Neither do you. I had to tell one wife in person when I got home. He shrugs. I just lied and told her he was well loved by his peers and his sacrifice would not be forgotten. Have a 6-year anniversary. You are his best kept secret for the sake of his career, but you're happy you're just not the biggest one in the bed. He friends you on Facebook after he leaves his wife, and you unfollow him, so you never have to see the pictures of his girlfriend eating beaver tails beside the canal. Never speak to him again. You were never really friends, even if you still sometimes wake up with things to tell him. Move, again, live life 22 months at a time, collect bamboo and tattoos, break rental leases and cheap IKEA furniture and casual relationships, but it's fine because you have always loved the broken. Now the military will be your married lover, whispering brilliant promises that it will not deliver. Your loyalty is unreciprocated. You have been both startlingly intelligent and shockingly fucking stupid. But you are professionally successful, well-traveled, highly educated, dependent-free, a painfully stitched patchwork quilt of all the places you have ever been and all the people you have ever tried to love and touched and loved to touch. You have choices your mother never had, and you watch the common ground between you recede. It's like you don't want me to be in your life anymore. I'm so inconvenient to you, she says. You're so much like your father. She is still mad she didn't move into the basement of the house you didn't buy to raise the kids you didn't have. And when your dad comes home and packs up the contents of the meat freezer and moves in with his girlfriend down the road only to slink back in 4 days, blaming drugs and alcohol and a sex addiction, you will realize infidelity is as genetic as mental illness. Even so, your grandmother speculates at family gatherings over her Jell-O salad and in her stilted handwriting in your Christmas card that you must be a lesbian, but you're busy slinking down the spine of Tongariro, sinking ankle deep into sharp volcanic scree, trekking alone through the foothills of Mount Doom with sulfur burning your nose, and agonizing about how the Maori boatman had called you beautiful warrior. You're too busy to care about what she says, but sometimes, secretly, deep inside, you wonder why your mom shares her disappointment. You have won awards and set records and created art and friendships and tried to make a rich life. You are all of the things your mother might have been, and she is all that you could have become. Wonder if one day she'll forgive you for not being what she needed you to be, small. And when she dies, you'll realize that she loved you the only way she knew how, and never once did she consider that to be part of her problem. Maybe it's because you're a Scorpio or an Enneagram 8, an ISTJA with an avoidant attachment style, a black jelly bean without middle ground, an intellectual whore. Like your C6, you demand respect and aggression and will probably bite. Maybe it's because your mother said your family tree has no branches, but she could only be referring to your father's side. Because you're the only daughter of an only daughter of an only daughter, and the women have passed down their shame to you like an heirloom more precious than ivory Irish lace. But you are determined that that will stop with you, or maybe it's just because you're sad. So shovel down trauma. Find hobbies that cost you even as your career progresses. You're not nice enough to ever have command. Wonder where that's listed as a leadership requirement. It's better than those who came before you. You should be lucky to be treated so well. Struggle to find a place where you aren't ridiculed or insulted or assaulted or just reminded daily that you do not really belong. Perhaps you won't survive in service to your king.